Good day, everybody, and what's up? Welcome to the show. I hope you had a great day, and thank you for listening. So today's question comes from a friend of a friend, because I guess it seems like other women are asking questions through people who I know, and they're sending in their questions that way. I guess that's the best way to describe this question. And this question is, how can a guy keep his erection longer? Would suggesting a cock ring be offensive to him? I'll ask it one more time. How can a guy keep his erection longer? Would suggesting a cock ring to him be offensive to him? And what's interesting is that, once again, I received this question in many different forms, but they all seem to be related to how can they get their boyfriends or husbands to last longer in bed. So I have a few suggestions for this one, but of course, please feel free to write your own answer down in the comment section, and I will be right back. So as I start to answer this question, I really want you just to take a step back and think about something for a minute. Because most males discovered the pleasure of their penis around the time they were teenagers, and they would masturbate. And with masturbation at that age, there comes a lot of like really crappy humor and everything else, and it's shame is a big part of that too. And also, these males probably tried to masturbate as fast as they possibly could, mainly because they didn't want to get caught by a family member or whoever. So think about that for a second. They have been training themselves for years to come as fast as they possibly could, maybe even decades, or 10 to 15 years plus, or if not more than that or longer than that. So then he starts having partnered sex, and he comes really quickly. But you understand why. There was a lot of training, and he's probably very good at coming fast. And that's where the problem lies, because it's tough to unlearn those decades worth of training to relax and enjoy sex and enjoy the sensations, versus just trying to come so fast so that you won't get caught by your parents or whoever. So the first part of my answer is this, and it involves a retraining so the guy will recognize the sensations that he's about to have an orgasm and that he's about to come. And it's pretty much just a stop-start technique. And I would recommend that his lover actually be a part of this. And pretty much what it is, you can actually do this through masturbation, and it might actually be fun if the lover masturbates him. And pretty much all it is that you masturbate him, or you give him a blowjob or whatever, until he's about to have an orgasm. And you don't want him to have an orgasm. You want him to just be at peace and recognize those nice sensations and that buildup. And right when he starts to feel that buildup, he will tell you to stop sucking him or stop masturbating him, so he can feel that sensation, recognize it, and let it subside a little bit. And then when it subsided again, you can restart the stimulation again. And it's a sequence. You should stop, start, you stop, start, you stop, start. And then over time, he will get better at recognizing that sensation. So when you guys are actually having sex, he can stop before he comes. And to be honest, I bet the farm that when you guys actually start to try this stop-start technique, he may fail the first few times. Or I don't want to say fail, quote unquote, but he may come the first few times because he's been trained to do that. So, don't get upset, don't get angry, don't start cussing, whatever like that. That's all a part of it. But over time, he will start to be able to recognize those sensations and actually catch himself before he gets too far. And that's pretty much the main goal of the sensation stop start technique. Also, to answer the second half of her question about the cock rings, me personally, I cannot co-sign on cock rings. For some people, they work, but it's very easy to get hurt by them. And what they do is they restrict the flow of blood out of the penis so the penis can stay erect longer, so the penis can stay hard longer, which is fine in theory. But I'm going to say this right now. They can only stay on for 30 minutes or less. I'll say it again. They can only stay on for 30 minutes or less. Because what can happen is if they're left on for too long, nerve damage can occur. And you really don't want nerve damage on your penis. And secondly, back when I first got into the field 20 plus years ago, they were talking about cock rings negatively because if you think about it this way, since they restrict the flow of blood out of the penis. What does blood do when it's quote unquote sitting still? It starts to coagulate, just like it does when you get a cut on your arm or hand or whatever like that. It doesn't keep running. It gooifies pretty much. It coagulates. And what I was taught early on is that it can also coagulate inside the penis, which actually has the possibility to damage some of the internal structures inside the penis. Where the penis, instead of being quote unquote smooth like a shaft, it may end up getting lumpy. And you really don't want that because that's where the blood has coagulated and kind of hardened. So you really don't want that. And also for people who leave them on, if the penis starts to feel cold or anything like that, or just pain, you gotta take it off. And what you really don't want to do is to do any sort of drugs, smoke some weed or whatever, and then fall asleep. Because there are horror stories about people who were using cock rings, they were high on whatever, and they fell asleep with a cock ring on. So it was not a good look for them. It really, I really can't even say what happened to them because it's not good. And but just going further, as I said before, I really can't co-sign on cock rings. They may be fun in the short run, like for a couple of months of play. But as you get older, that damage may actually occur, and you don't know about it until you're in your 50s and 60s, and you're trying to have sex with your wife or your girlfriend or whoever, your lover, and you can't because of the damage that was done back when you were in your 30s. So that's one of the main reasons why, one of the reasons why I cannot co-sign on cock rings. Me personally, I've never used one, and I'm never going to use one, period. So as I close out this podcast, I just want to say that this training, the stop-start technique, may take some time. It may not happen overnight or a week or two or a month. It may take a little bit of time for him to unlearn and relearn how to enjoy orgasms and to recognize his sensations so he doesn't orgasm faster than he wants to. Because think about it, he probably has decades of unlearning to fight through. And also, I gotta say this, because I don't want this to be all clinical and you guys, okay, we're gonna do our stop-start technique tonight. Yes, we are. No, fuck that. I'm just saying, make it still can be fun. So if your partner's involved, if your lover's involved, or you are involved, maybe you want to masturbate him. some lovers, some girlfriends, wives, whoever, boyfriends, they really like that sex play. So you want to masturbate him, feel free and go ahead. If you want to suck him off, go ahead and suck him off. But also, this is important too, because he needs to have a nice orgasm after all of this. So yeah, you guys are putting in some work. You guys are doing the stop-start techniques and such on and so forth. And you can't leave them there high and dry, right? So let him have a nice orgasm, at the very end. Maybe you guys should, if you want to screw and have and fuck, go ahead and fuck, have a good time. But if he comes in a minute or 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 minutes or 12 minutes or 20 minutes or 60 minutes or whatever, there you go. But he still needs to get that orgasm at the end. So I had to put that in there because that is very important too. So on that note, I'm out. You guys have a great day. Stay tuned, and I will talk to you soon. All right, bye.